Welcome back to Life's Chillent. My name is Avital, and this week's Parshat is Parsha Nitzavim. And in last week's Parsha, Kitava, we received the Tochacha, the admonition, where it went through and talked about this whole slew of curses that would befall the Jewish people if they didn't follow in the commandments of the Torah, and also an abundance of blessings that would be the Jewish people's sort of reward for following the commandments. And in this week's Parsha, it goes through and it talks about how the Jewish people will stray, that it's sort of an inevitable thing that's going to happen, that they're going to turn away from God, they're going to serve the gods of other gods, and it also goes through in this week's Parsha and talks about the Jewish people's eventual return to Judaism, to following in the commandments. And it's a really fitting time for this to happen because this is a Torah portion that we read every single year, the Shabbat before Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year. And Teshuvah, the idea of returning, redemption, sort of making a change for our ways, that is something that is very deeply rooted in the holiday of Rosh Hashanah, in the Jewish New Year. And so I'll read it to you from this Parsha how it unfolded. It says, "And you will return and listen to the voice of the Lord and fulfill all of his commandments which I command you this day." And then it goes through and talks about the good things that God's going to do for us when we choose to return. And it closes with that these things will happen when you return to the Lord your God with all of your heart and with all of your soul. So we've talked about this all of your heart and all of your soul before, about being genuine, about being authentic. But what I really think all of this encompasses in these ideas of returning to God, and I'm sure these are not new concepts to you if you are immersed in the Jewish community. You've heard about Teshuvah, you've heard about returning to yourself. But what I think is a little bit unique to this week's Parsha is the idea that we will stray. It's built into the Torah. God said, I kind of already know that the Jewish people are going to stray. They're not going to follow my commandments. They're going to go serve the gods of others. They're going to go do all of these things. And they're going to think like this is fine. But eventually, they're going to recognize that these things aren't actually beneficial for them, and they're going to return to God. And so whether that is within ourselves, the way that we choose to connect to God, to follow commandments or not to follow commandments, whether it's our connection with God or our connection with ourselves or other people, it is about recognizing when we have done something wrong, not thinking that we've gone too far or strayed, recognizing that that's natural because we're human and it's kind of built into us and into our history to stray. But we have the opportunity, the beautiful, unique opportunity to return to ourselves, return and do get others to forgive us and to make new relationships with people, to return to our relationship with God in a way that's going to be authentic and correct for each and every one of us. We have that beautiful opportunity. The beauty of Judaism is that we can ask for forgiveness. We can mend our ways. We really believe in those things. And that's something that is a little bit unique, the way that we go through the process of asking people for forgiveness, the way that we view all of those things. So when we become aware of our wrongdoings, when we have that moment in our head where it just doesn't sit right with us, that we've done something and we recognize that it's wrong and we have the opportunity to change our ways and we follow through with that, it is a beautiful thing that we really truly believe is filled with a great reward, both for ourselves and for those around us. And so I'll take this opportunity to wish you all a Shana Tova, a good and happy and healthy new year. And I look forward to speaking with you next time.